Hey there everyone, welcome to my behind the scenes video for my epic Finch Farm bridge bunker settlement. I appreciate you coming back. If you haven't seen the first video, I did a full tour of the place. It was a musical tour, and what I'm going to do in this video is give you a behind the scenes narrative tour. So you definitely want to check out that first video first. It was a lot of fun, went through everything, and this time I'll go through it in more of a narrative detail. First of all, it's a terrible day, but we can take care of that now that we have the Contraptions DLC. So let's just do that real quick.
Greetings, buddy. Would you like a cold one, or did you want to hear a joke?
No thanks, buddy. You tried to ask me last time and I told you I'd come back to you and I blew you off. I'm sorry, but these people are waiting. Okay. So anyway, the first thing I want to do is I want to apologize for the delay over the last week or so. I made a pretty ridiculous mistake in my last video where I tried to record it late at night in order to save time and give myself more room over the weekend to make this video. Unfortunately, I learned the lesson the hard way, and when you record things late at night, your voice just isn't up to par. Like, I'm sure all of you have experienced it, you know, the later it gets at night, the more your voice sounds all craggy and, you know, cranky and stuff. I don't know what it is, maybe it has something to do with fatigue, but I combined that problem with attempting to whisper so I wouldn't disturb my neighbors, and instead of saving time, ended up creating like 10 times more work for myself, because I went into the audio and there was just 1,000 times more little mouth pops, you know, those little crinkly noises that nobody wants to hear, you know, and because it was late, I was saying a lot more, and, you know, you want to try to cut some of those out if you're a YouTuber so you sound coherent. So it ended up taking me 10 times as long to create that weapons and apparel explanation video. It's still a really awesome video, and I'm glad I went ahead and put the time into it to fix it up and make it sound, you know, palatable to the ear. But wow, that was a lesson learned. I haven't ever done that before, and I think what I'm going to do from now on is just stick to recording when my voice is at its peak, which for most people is usually morning and afternoon. So if you're another YouTuber, I'm sure you can relate to that. Okay. All right, now that we've gotten past that, let's get into the meat of this. What I think I'm going to do, because this in of itself is going to be a fairly long video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide this into two parts. The first part, I'm going to go around and just give you sort of a narrative tour and explain some of the rationale behind what some of this stuff is, why I put it there, and, you know, create a little immersive backstory for it and all that stuff. Give you a few tips and tricks here and there, and then I'll save all of your questions and answers for part 2, which will actually give some of you guys that are just catching up time to ask the questions and put them in either the comments below this video or in the original settlement video. And then for the part 2, what I'll do is I'll make a compilation of all those questions and then just go through all your questions and do things like pull back the curtain and explain where all the wires are and how I did some of these really crazy things, which, by the way, were done completely on a console, not on a PC, and without a single mod. And we're past 4th of July, so I'm actually going to switch over to my normal bandana and my military fatigues. Okay, there we go. Now I'm looking like I normally go out and adventure. Okay, you guys ready to get started? All right, so what I'm going to do is take a swing around the front and back of this place, and then we'll go ahead and go inside. So I will go this way since Buddy's coming this way. He just wants something to drink with. All right, so the first thing I should probably explain is why I chose Finch Farm and what it is about this place.
Getting pissed is picking a fight. Am I right?
And the way that I constructed it on the land that was given. All right, first of all, I started having some major problems with Finch Farm being attacked like every time I came back from a quest. It just really seemed like this place was the most highly attacked settlement of all the places that I had collected as far as settlements. Haven't built all of them up. I've only built up one or two others. But this place was just getting attacked left and right. And I was like, somebody needs to go over there and do something about that. So that was part of my decision. I made it a personal challenge to make this place into an impregnable bunker. Interestingly enough, my finale settlement is, well, at least it looks much, much more guarded, you know? Like I have walls just surrounding the place, turrets everywhere, and it just still gets attacked like all the time. And it even has a higher defense in this place. But for some reason, the way that I constructed this base, it makes it so it's just not attacked at all, which is unfortunate because I actually beefed up the security on this place. I think part of what it has to do with is the fact that most of these settlers are way up there, and they're sort of out of reach of most of the attacking agents, and therefore, I don't know, maybe it's just not triggered as often. I'll show you what the defense is for this place. A little closer, maybe it'll trigger. There we go. Okay, so the defense of this place is only 67, and I guess that's good because you want to try to keep it above the food and water total. So that would be 40, 16, 56. So we're well above that. So that's possibly a reason. Happiness is not too bad too. It's on the down for some reason now. I've gotten it up to 90. It's never gotten to 100. But anyway, so that may explain the reason why it doesn't get attacked that often. But yeah, I wanted to basically make it a personal challenge that if this place was ever attacked, it would be just the shortest fight ever. And it turns out that it worked out perfectly that way. When I finally show you my other settlement, you'll be like, man, this place looks totally impregnable, but it just gets attacked all the time. And the silly thing is that the settlers all run out of the walls, through the gate, and out into the open to try to defend the place instead of staying behind the walls and staying safe. And that's a real problem, you know? Because it's like, what's the point in having walls all over the place and all these turrets and guard posts if everybody's just going to run out of the base and go run towards the problem? So that was another theme that I constructed in building this place, where I wanted to take this little house down here and make it useless and put all the beds and the workstations and all the jobs and stuff up there. And then you'll see when we get up to the door up there, it actually has a closable electric door. If I want to, I can just close it and nobody can run out and run towards the problem. And we can let these awesome heavy laser turrets take care of the problem. Okay, so that gives a little backstory. All right, now that Buddy's gone, I guess we can swing around this way now. Okay, so why do I have a little fire here? Well, it seems like even though I don't have one of those trading posts for caravans, you know, one of those tented caravan stations, traders will still come by the bridge bunker. They won't go inside. They will stay right here. And I've built couches and chairs for them to sit on, but for some reason they do not sit on the couches and chairs. They sit on the ground. And if they do sit on the chairs, they face the wrong direction. Like they're facing into walls and stuff. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous. So I just went ahead and put a little campfire and said, if you guys want to sit on the ground when you come visit to trade, that's fine with me. I did put this bench here, and they do use the bench, but I had to use this kind of bench where there's really only one way to sit, and that's forward. So that kind of explains that. All right, so the next thing I wanted to do was I wanted to create a fully concrete, I guess, encampment around the original house so that it was even and square and aligned with the bridge, and then we'd have access up to the top floor where all the activity is. So the reason I did this was because this house is actually sitting at a weird angle. I basically just had to surround it with walls in order to get it to look all even and everything. Okay, these boards right here, these planks are from the new Contraptions DLC. And another thing I should mention is that a lot of this construction and the way things are placed and where they're placed has to do with covering up junk. So, for example, see how this platform extends out there instead of just, you know, being a single platform? I did that because there's just a whole lot of junk on the ground, and I just wanted to cover it up. You can see some of it here. It's awesome because these cement blocks will clip through the ground, and it just makes it look a whole lot cleaner. Okay, so because I went for the bridge bunker look, I used most of the items from the Wasteland Workshop DLC. My other settlement uses mostly the original settlement items, which are more wood, and then I use a lot of items from Far Harbor to give it sort of a maritime look. And it's just really nice and homey and sort of looks like a seaside resort. So you guys will see that settlement soon. This one wasn't meant to be all homey. It was meant to be totally defensible. So anyway, all right, let's keep swinging around the back. Now, the neat thing about this Finch Farm settlement is there's a tiny little corner here that's within the settlement perimeter where you can place one of these massive water generators, and that takes care of the water pretty much for the whole settlement. You're not going to have more than 40 people in your settlement. So I went ahead and put a platform. It needs 5 power, which is exactly the amount this medium generator generates. So, yep. It just fits right on there, can't do anything else, and then I put a little turret back here to kind of protect it. And since I didn't want to add another generator, I just left it a mechanical turret. It makes a lot of noise as it chugs along, but it's really far away from the settlement, so it really doesn't bother anybody. And I placed it in such a way that when you're kind of in front of the settlement, you don't really even notice it or see it. So it's kind of sort of tucked away. It's very nice. Okay, so if this were nighttime, you would see little light accents coming through the walls here from the lights that are on the inside. I really like the way it does that. You can kind of see them here. But yeah, I basically built this single concrete wall all the way around. And I have some conduits up there you can see. Those were actually built before the Contraptions DLC. If I had built it after the Contraptions DLC, I would have probably tried to use some of the flat pipe type conduits that came with that DLC, which I'll show you when we get up there. But you know, they got to have a little bit of sunshine, so I made the mesh windows here, which are too high for anybody to reach or shoot through.
If it wasn't for you, things could have been a lot worse.
So this guy was originally assigned to farming, but as soon as I gave him this really nice rifle, he just basically took out the rifle and just started wandering around, ignored all of his farming duties. And I just said, forget it. I just unassigned him as
I'll do whatever it takes to earn back my family's trust.
a farmer and just gave him some cool clothing. He sort of looks like something out of Star Wars, maybe. I don't know. Now he just walks around, which is really, I think, what he just wanted to do. This is Jake. He's one of the original inhabitants of Finch Farm. Okay, so now we're moving up to the neon lights. You guys probably...
Systems are eager to absorb.
Oh man, all these talky people.
I find this traveling agrees.
Oh, there's one of the caravanners. Okay, this is from Wasteland Workshop. You can add neon lights. Just wanted to give it a name. I call it the Bridge Bunker. Kind of ironic because bunkers are usually underground. This one's way above ground, so kind of makes it sort of cool. And chose a color.
The influx of data
Oh,
is
Lord,
hard to
Curie.
process. Apologies if sometimes I make little sense. I will work on this.
I was so hesitant to bring you to this settlement because you're such a talky little robot. But that's another theme. Oh, look, it's raining again. Boy, those fireworks don't last very long. Maybe I should go make another one and clear the place out.
I wonder what has happened elsewhere. Is what has befallen the Commonwealth atypical, less extreme?
Yep,
more?
you guys talk to each other. Okay. So I'm going to pause the video here and go up and make another clear weather thing. And I'll be right back, guys, because we want a sunny day for this. You know how it goes.
Monsieur?
Okay, guys, I'm back. Let's go ahead and shoot this trigger. And we are back to a nice sunny day. Thank goodness. Okay, and maybe Curie is somewhere else occupying her time and won't bother us. Okay.
Humanity is so resilient.
Oh, Lord.
Cling to life despite all
Am I going to have to put you somewhere else, Curie?
of us all to further that survival.
Goodness gracious. Let me just stand back here and explain what this setup is. So funny. I like Nick. He doesn't talk. He's just stoic and walks by. Okay. So I found this.
Things could have been a lot worse.
Jesus Christ.
They are out there.
All right. So I found this spotlight here from some schematics in the Automatron DLC. Unfortunately, they require power. So it'd be nice if they didn't. But it's nice to have that on the front door because this front area gets a little dark at night, actually. So this worked out perfectly. And the other thing you guys will probably notice about all the spotlights, all of the floor-mounted or wall-mounted spotlights, is that... Oh, God, stay away from me.
Will serve any purpose.
All right. I should probably just send her to another settlement for the time being. Poor Curie. She's just a lonely robot. Wants to learn about the wasteland.
It is hard to determine whether the surface is a problem.
Okay. So what I did was I decided to go ahead and reroute some power down to this spotlight from these turrets up here. But you guys will probably have noticed already that the spotlights have a glitch. Whether they're floor mounted or wall mounted, they will just go out on themselves sometimes. And you can select them and unselect them or reposition them and they'll turn back on. It's kind of a pain. But there is an easier way, and that is if you just want to set up a little switch for it. So whenever the spotlight turns off, then I can just run over, flip that switch off, flip that switch back on again, and the lights will be back on. It's much easier than going into settlement mode. And plus, you know, sometimes maybe you do just want it off. Okay, if you'll notice, I pulled up all the plants in this little farm area here and just cleared it out. And you're like, well, where's the food coming from? Well, it's all upstairs on little farm plots. So let's go ahead and take a look inside.
I have so much data on the world before the atom
I
bomb.
got some goods I can sell you, if you're
Oh,
looking.
God.
I need some of it to store my new
I apologize, guys, if I'm trying to talk over them or if they're interrupting us. It's just the way it goes. Okay, I couldn't move this workshop, so I decided to go ahead and make this back area a little
What I wouldn't
tool
give for a
shed
good
or
stiff drink.
workspace area where I could hide some of the... Oh, that's it. I'm done with you, Curie. You are heading to the Red Rocket for the moment.
Yeah?
Do you need something, monsieur?
Never mind.
As you wish.
Okay. All right, Curie. Sorry about that. You're going to have to head to the Red Rocket for the time being so I can actually make it through this video, and then I will send you back here when we're done. Okay. Now everybody else is going to make up for it and start talking for her. Okay, so we have the fusion generator, which should actually take care of all of the
Scan as many indigenous life forms as possible.
power that's necessary in this settlement, but I have it on the ground floor, and we needed one upstairs as well. So that's why when I go into settlement mode, you guys will see there is 205 power. So I have two fusion generators, one that's very well hidden, which I'll show you in the next behind the scenes video. And then we have that little generator off in the corner there that is powering the water pump. Okay, this is the recruitment beacon. It doesn't need to be outside. It can be inside. You know, radio goes through a lot of things like tin roofs and stuff. But I actually have it off right now because this place started to get a little crowded. And I'll explain that whole situation in a minute. So what I did was I put a switch on it so that, well, I think it comes with a switch. But I just have it off now because I've got all these settlers that I want at the moment. And just ran the wires from the ceiling, you know, to kind of keep them out of the way. This thing is the iBot pod that will go and seek out the nuka grenades and other ammunition and fun things that I explained in the gear loadout video. But it needs to be powered. So instead of giving it more wires that'll cut across our walking area here, I just ran the wire down from the...
Must find the men of science and institutes of learning. Surely they are out there still.
recruitment beacon, and it's off. So if I want to use it, I actually have to turn this on. Now I can use it. And check this out. This is really cool. All right. So I'm going to, you guys are going to get a kick out of this. Okay. So I'm going to have him scan for explosives. I like when he goes and finds nuka grenades. So he's going to do that. Now check this out. Exit out of there. And he just goes right through the wall. That is beautiful. Now I can turn this thing off. And if we run outside,
I wonder what has happened elsewhere. Is what has befallen the Commonwealth atypical?
then you'll see him. Yep, he's off. He just phased right through that wall. That is classic.
Good.
This game is just so trippy.
Again.
Okay, so that kind of explains this little back area here. And now I can explain what is going on inside here.
Ain't a lot of men.
These
who
people will
stick their
stop
nose out.
talking. Lord have mercy.
Thanks, friend.
The chatty folk. Okay, so,
I have so
oh,
much
Curie,
data
I
to
thought I
work
sent you
before the
off.
atom bombs. I
Leave.
fear I may have to delete some of it to store my new observations.
Leave, you chatty thing. Thank you. All right, so I didn't want my settlers to have anything to do with this bottom area. I wanted them all to be up in the bunker. So what I did was I walled off the original bedroom,
Oh, my systems are eager to absorb new data. I find this
and
happening
I put a switch for an electrical opening door. So this is the switch that opens it. And as you'll see here,
Yeah?
it opens up into a room that I just basically cleared out and left abandoned. Unfortunately, these beds, you can't clear out these beds. Otherwise, I would have done that too. But nobody is allowed back there. That's like a restricted area. And the reason is because I want all the settlers upstairs in the defensible area where I can close the door and keep them safe.
Is more or less susceptible to outbreaks, but a preparation plan is never a bad idea.
Because everybody still likes to hang out on this porch, I went ahead and put some couches and a Vim machine, which has actually some Vim in it. Ice cold Vim, as a matter of fact. So some of them will still hang out down here. Nothing I can really do about it. But the majority of them will hang out upstairs because they got jobs to do. I gave Daniel a miner's hat because he seems to be another guy that just likes to wander around. And at nighttime, it actually adds an extra lighting scheme, a mobile
Guess
lighting
all this will
scheme.
be mine someday. It's more than most folks got.
Do you need something, monsieur?
Okay, speaking of lighting schemes, these pillars here are not doing anything except for providing a mechanism to hang these lights in here and to hang the I'll show you when I get up there, some more lights on the top. And also it kind of gives it a little bit of a railing look, which we'll get to up there. So these are just normal lights from, I think maybe Wasteland Workshop is when they introduced these lights. But yeah, they fit perfectly under these little concrete posts. And I was able to clip the posts through the ceiling and floor without doing any exploits.
Apologies if sometimes I make little sense. I will work on this.
Okay, so they added this nice little marquee arrow here, which is perfect because I wanted something on that wall, but now that it's perfect. It leads us around the edge and up the stairs, which is the access way to the top bunker. Okay. Top of these stairs was the perfect place to add this decontamination arch. Unfortunately, they put the little power conduits in the weirdest places, especially for this thing in the spotlight. It's at the top here. Why couldn't it be at the bottom? So I had to run power. I kind of had to clip it through there. I didn't do anything weird. It just allowed me to clip it through. But it's nice because it's sort of much more streamlined. And I was able to keep all the wires on the outside of the walls instead of running around on the inside. Although, like I said, if I'd built this when the Contraptions Workshop came out, I probably would have used these conduit pipes instead. Okay, so these posts that clip through the ground here are just concrete posts. You know, I didn't do anything special. They just clipped through, and they serve two purposes. One, they're, well, three purposes, really. They add sort of a railing look to, a support system for the rails. Otherwise, the rails would have looked kind of naked.
It is so resilient to cling to life despite all of this. It is the duty of us all to further that survival.
And they give something for these track lights to sit on, which are all pointing up at the base and shining up on it at night, although I don't know how much lighting they actually provide. And then the third thing they do is give something to tack on these lights below. So I like it when things serve more than one purpose.
Please,
Okay,
let me see it as
are
many
you still here?
details
I'm gonna
as
shoot you,
possible.
Carrie.
It is, of course, for science.
Next person
Lord
that
have
asks me to
mercy.
shag is getting a well-placed kick. If you get
Okay, so these turrets here are heavy lasers. They're perfect. Each one is covering a different quadrant of the base. So basically anywhere that anybody can approach, they're just going to get absolutely torn apart by these heavy lasers.
I wonder what has happened elsewhere. Is what has befallen the Commonwealth atypical, less extreme, more?
And the truth of the matter is that no fight has lasted more than a few seconds. You know, seriously, with these 4 heavy laser turrets, it's just, they just shred everything in sight. It's absolutely ridiculous. Okay, this is the robot workbench. I had a little extra space here. It was the perfect place for it. Yeah, it just worked out. So I just put it under the stairs there, and I use it to create more handy bots, things like that. Okay, this is new. This is a whole setup here for fireworks, and
Humanity is so resilient to cling to life despite
once
all
again,
of
this was the perfect place to put it because I actually tested it out. I put it over here, back here, and if the firework hits the bottom of that bridge, it duds. So it doesn't actually go through solid objects. There's a little interesting bit of trivia for you. So I had to put it out in the open. And in order to make a nice little firework display, you need several of these firework mortars. And you don't actually have to just shoot fireworks through them. You can shoot things like the clear skies, which we have a nice sky now with the sunset. It's all pink. Okay, in order to give it intervals where they don't all shoot at the same time, you need to set up a terminal. And in order for them to be triggered on and off, you need a switch. And this targeting switch here is perfect because I can actually stand way back there, shoot it, it'll turn on. See, right now it's on. All right, so check this out. Oops. Sorry, guys. Okay, so I can actually shoot it, and it'll turn the terminal off. Very complicated wiring here, which I will get into in the next episode. But this little table here looked strange. It didn't look right. So I went ahead and put this box here, this wooden crate, which is carrying all the fireworks, and put a restricted sign on it. And all of these things, I didn't mean to clip that on purpose. It just worked out that way. You'll notice a lot of the things in here look like they're clipped with exploits. For example, this stairs going into the floor, it just worked out that way. Sometimes it takes a little patience to get it right. And we're getting on into nighttime, so I may actually have to wait on a bench for daytime so I can sort of continue the tour during the day, and we're not trying to get all fancy and look at this at night. So let me do that real quick. I'll just cut the video, sit on this bench, wait until morning. Okay, guys, we're back. It's daytime again. I'm going to go ahead and fire off another clear skies firework just to make sure we have a nice sunny day. I store them all in here. And then what I do is I just go in here, and here's a nice little trick for you. They put them in the miscellaneous category, and it takes forever to find them. So if you hit the left stick to sort them, and you sort them by weight, they'll actually gravitate towards the top, even though they weigh 0. I don't know why, they just do, but it makes it easier to find them. So now I can put that in the firework mortar, and I can trigger it.
Don't mind hoofing it as long as there's some excitement at the end of the road.
And it's not too bad of a day, but we want a nice sunny day. Boom. Okay, so I think we were pretty much done with this roof here. So let's head on up the stairs. These stairs worked out really well instead of the wooden stairs, actually, because for one, it fits into the concrete theme. And two, they actually link together with a nice little curvature here. Let's just And up here, had to add a couple of landings so that it would reach this section. Oh, look at that. What does that say? What does that say? Skooled. Oh, okay. Little branding there. Got to throw it in. All right. So why did I pick this point? Well, if you guys have seen the original bridge, this section right here is the least fragmented. So I basically decided that this little section right here would probably be the best place to put the door. And the rest of the places I could cover up with concrete. So it was sort of an organic decision. And it forced me to have these stairs with these landings. But they look nice, you know, the railings. I like this nice little curvature here. Okay, so let's head up onto the landing here. And we've got a couple of extra turrets. I actually like these turrets here because they can kind of look down and I don't know. I could have made laser turrets, but then I would have had to have wires running down from the ceiling there, which is, by the way, where all the wires are hidden. They're all up on the roof. So without having to do that, I just added these turrets here. And I had to add some items in here as junk, like plants and things like that, so that our bunker sheriff, oh Lord, he's missing. Oh man. He has trouble staying at his post. It's unfortunate. And he'll end up trying to stand in this little area. I have no idea why. So I had to add some things that block him from doing that. And yeah, it worked out. You know, you sort of organically solve a problem with a decoration and try to improvise and make it look nice. I like these flags from Far Harbor. Those, I have nothing to do with the Children of Adam, but, you know, they look nice. Okay, so we're going to head on inside. And like I mentioned, I have this switch here that can close the door to the bunker. So if we get attacked and I can get to this switch fast enough, then I can prevent all of my idiotic settlers from running out into the middle of danger. Okay. Anyway, when you walk up here, it's kind of nice because to the right, you usually have a guardian, a big menacing robot assaultron guardian. And then to the left, you have like a nice little nightclub. So I don't know where he is. It kind of sucks. Oh man, trying to get everything to just work perfectly is impossible with settlements. But anyway, I like this little area. It's sort of a foyer reception area, I guess. Little lounge, drinking lounge, you know, living room, whatever you want to call it. But it's kind of nice because it's kind of patio-like. It's kind of gazebo-like. And these trees back here aren't for decoration. These are actually what they farm for food, as well as the carrots in the kitchen. So this area worked out really nicely. Put a little bit of modern art there. Got some nice candles and vases on the table. Got some umbrellas, you know, because it does rain. And when it rains, unfortunately, the water does come through these through this area. That's why I like to make it a nice sunny day all the time. But it's nice because the concrete can get a little dark. And if you build just a complete bunker-like structure, it will get extremely dark with the concrete. I don't know why it doesn't do that as much with the wood, but it does with the concrete. So anyway, all right, well, let's move on to the left here. Got a nice little club, lounge, bar, whatever you want to call it. I put all the funky lights in here. Yeah, I got the jukebox, radio, which we should probably turn off. This thing right here is from Swan. I made a few really cool videos where I took out Swan and I just collected some of the junk that was in the back of his little joint there. Put links to those videos if you want. Got a pool table. I had some fun legendary pool cues, so might be kind of funny instead of just regular cues. Interestingly enough, this rack that they provide in Fallout 4 doesn't have enough room to hold all the billiard balls. Whoops. So I just have a few extra ones because I wanted to try to, I mean, I was so detailed when I was making this. I was actually going to arrange these freaking billiard balls until I came to my senses. So got the nice liquor sign, jukebox. These lounge chairs give a nice little place for people to drink. My settlers actually do sit on these stools. and figured out a little trick. You have to rotate them in such a way that they don't face away. I don't know why they just don't automatically face a counter, but yeah. Just keep trying to rotate them and they will eventually face the right direction. Got a nice little bar here. I have a settler.
Yes?
You know, you got to look classy for the place. Got to class it up a bit. But I have all these nice items that are standing up. And by the way, if you guys are wondering how I managed to get all these items to stand up straight, I will give that tip and trick in the next video. Because this one's already getting pretty dang long. I might not even be able to finish just the narrative tour. All right, so let's keep moving. I wish it didn't have a crack in that glass, but this was the only door that had some nice glass through it. And I wanted to try to keep as much of the open space and lighting, you know, natural lighting that we could get through here because it is so dark. Oh, and by the way, some of you may be wondering, wow, how did he get that light to be purple and how is there no wire? Oh my gosh, he must be doing mods. No mods, people. Just a lot of really patient tricks that I'm going to show you in the next video. So, same goes with these posters here. Where are the wires? Oh man, this took some genius level trickery here. So I will show you all that in the next video as well. But yeah, we have a nice little workout room here. And got a little, first of all, got to have the ice machine for the workout room. You know, muscles get sore. Got to put ice on them. Milk does the body good. Have a fan. I don't think there's anything in here, but you could put, you know, other little sports equipment in here. These are weapon display racks. And before these came along from the Contraptions DLC, I didn't know what I was going to do. They were probably going to have, I was probably just going to have the dumbbells sit on the floor. But these came along and they just worked out perfectly because they look like dumbbell racks. So I was like, hell yeah. And then of course she got a couple of regular dumbbells. There we go. Just gonna try to move it over to the end of the bench here. Okay, boxing gym, got the boxing gloves, got some other sports equipment, basketball, bowling ball, kickballs, got some baseball stuff, which is why I have the other baseball posters here. Let me turn this off as well. And got extra weights, of course, you gotta have that. And then we have this, what is originally a power armor display station. But the reason I put this in here was because I wanted to add some more lighting to this area, because this room got really dark. I didn't want to have to put lights on the ceilings. But between these backlit posters and this thing, and then of course a little bit of light coming through here, it worked out perfectly. How did I get this massive barbell to stand like it's a squat machine? Truthfully, guys, I have no idea. I basically picked it up, put it there, and it stuck. And I got lucky because it fell once, and it took me a while to get it back. But because it had been up there once, I knew it was possible, and I managed to finagle it back into position. I think because this pipe sort of curves, it allows it to sit there. Where did I get it? I got it at the Galleria. The, what's the name of it? Oh, I forgot the name of it. This barbell here is missing weights on that side, but it's one of those types of exercises where you can lean over and do into a squat-like position and work the back, lats, things like that. Okay, I like this little balcony here because, well, I set these two little balconies up here for shooting practice. This area down there is a big raider settlement, or maybe they're gunners. Tell you what, let's find out. And I use them for target practice. Yep, there's one. I can't shoot him through this trailer. I tried in the last video. I can shoot out his light, though. Haha. Okay, and there's usually an assaultron roaming around here. I don't know where that assaultron is. But yeah, it's fun because I can just come out here, get some shooting practice. Hey, shooting's in the Olympics. Oh, and then there's also some forged that roam around up here, too, that I can reach. with this long-range recon scope. See if I can find any now. Of course, there's not going to be any now. But yeah, there's a bunch of them that roam around here and basically practice my ultimate sniper techniques. They don't even know where it's coming from. They just die. Okay. I love that disco ball right over the pool table. It's the perfect place for it. And I did manage to clip in some extra track lights into the ceiling. Didn't do anything special. It just worked out that they clipped in there, and they do provide some nice extra lighting. Got one there. Got one right here. In fact, you can't even see this one. That's awesome. Yep, there is a track light there, and it's just perfectly hidden to light up this liquor sign, which for some reason doesn't light up on its own. Okay, moving on. We have the home theater. All right, these are airplane seats, but they look like theater seats, so they work out perfectly. Had to put in the Nuka-Cola machine, of course. A little ashtray because, you know, they got to put their cigarettes out before they come into the theater. And I wanted this place purposely to be a little dark because, you know, this is the best thing we've got for a movie screen here. It's the biggest TV. But I did put these little lamps here because, you know, you often see in theaters the little floor lamps. And had to put the TV onto a little dais sort of thing. Took a little trickery, actually, but I managed to get some of these round platforms to stay on top of each other. And then we just have some nice decorative plants and a view out of the back of the theater. And by the way, there is a reason why I don't have walls on the back of this settlement here. And the reason is because I basically ran into the edge of the settlement. So it was one of those things where I couldn't build anything beyond this wall. But by accident, it turned out that it made for a really nice infrastructure for this bunker. Because if it had allowed me to build... Why are you standing on a plant? These settlers are so weird. That's one thing that's really weird about this settlement is all the settlers, not all of them, but a majority of them are just totally insane. They will do things like walk into walls and... Oh, Lord. Okay, but anyway, that kind of explains why there is no back wall on this settlement. It is by accident, but it worked out really well to provide extra lighting. Okay, so now we're going to start moving around here. We have our police station with our abandoned post. There's normally a sheriff here. If you guys see my original video, you'll see him in his proper place. Didn't have a lot of room for statues in this settlement, but this was the perfect place for a statue because it kind of looks like, and he's kind of pointing to the police sign here. And that light above him shines down perfectly to sort of illuminate him. This is the little holding area for people that get in trouble. Okay, so we have the restrooms here. Men's restroom. You know, sort of a, I guess, a masculine picture there. Bathtub. If I had used mods, I probably could have gotten nicer plumbing. But I just wanted to keep the purity of the settlement. But, you know, they stay clean. They have toothbrushes and toothpaste and soap and plunger and all that stuff. Okay. I won't spend too much time on the women's bathroom, but it's a little more nicely decorated, you know, with a little slightly more feminine touch. And if you notice, it's a little bit larger than the other one. That actually was by accident, but since I made those two bathrooms and this one turned out to be larger, I just went ahead and assigned it as the women's bathroom because, you know, got to be polite, give them a little more room. All right, so anyway, moving on. Okay, actually, to be perfectly honest, this entire section here is going to take a while to go through. You know, it's one of those situations where not everybody is going to be interested in this type of video, but there are a lot of people that are going to be interested in hearing my rationale behind some of this stuff and get into sort of the role play and the immersion of it. So I'm actually going to break this up into two more videos. One where I go through the narrative tour and explain all of these things. And if you guys aren't the type that like that type of video, you don't need to leave a mean comment or anything. Just don't click on it. You know what I mean? Leave it to the people that want to watch watch this kind of stuff because I know it is a very talky video. And in the environment on YouTube where many videos are only 5 minutes or less, these talky videos tend to get a little bit of criticism. So we will break this up into the next part. I will do a part 2 in a few days, and it'll give you guys more opportunities to ask questions, which I can answer in the final Q&A settlement video, where I explain how I did all this magic and settlement trickery. So thank you guys so much. We'll go out here and look at a nice view while I wrap it up. And I really appreciate you guys watching these videos. I put so much time into editing them, and I'm glad that they are getting the likes and the views that they deserve. So hope you guys gained something out of it. Subscribe if you haven't, hit that like button. Make sure you share the video around, and we'll see you for part 2 next time on the Skooled Zone. Peace out.